We're working. Okay, so good evening, everybody. So, for the avoidance of doubt, this is being recorded for publication on the Thatcham Town Council YouTube channel. So, first item, apologies for absence.
Apologies received from Councillor Simon Pike and Councillor Jenny Walker.
Thank you. Declarations of interest. Does anybody have a declaration of interest they wish to declare? So I've got a declaration that I would declare. We can see how we wish to proceed. So I work for an item number 5 is a pre-application consultation in regards to base station upgrades. I'm not actually expecting that to be a very controversial item. If it comes to anything contentious, then I'll step out or avoid any voting. But I think maybe we could just take that as we come to the item, if that's okay with everybody.
Noted the declaration, Chair.
Okay, item number 3 to take as read and confirm as accurate the minutes on the 11th of October, so October 22 and 25th October.
Proposed.
Rose, I have to second that, and all in favour. Let's both say together. Thank you. Item number 4, matters arising from previous meeting. Deputy Town Clerk, do we have anything arising?
No, I haven't just followed on some of the stuff. So, yeah.
And does anybody else have anything to raise from previous meeting? So item number 5, the pre-application consultation proposal proposed base station upgrades Gables Way to receive and consider correspondence with regards to the proposed site on Gables Way. So Deputy Town Clerk, over to yourself.
Okay, so members may recall we've had a number of these through with regards to upgrades to existing infrastructure. We had base stations, that's the one. So this one is at Gables Way, and you will have received information on it on tax. And they are looking to works on site to include replacement of the existing 17.5 metre monopole with a new 20 metre monopole, accommodating new antennas, microwave dishes, and the replacement of the ground-based equipment cabinets along with minor ancillary works. So this is just a pre-application before it comes for us. Details of the site. I think you've got a print as well. In Colthrope, Gables Way. This is the existing site photograph, existing unit, and then we've got some plans. This is the existing site plan. I believe there have been poles there.
Yeah.
It's moved, isn't it? Slightly.
So the poles set back a little bit further from the road relative to the existing one. It's the same colour, which is RAL 6009, and it's 2 metres taller. That's the key issues. So if we take Councillor
Chairman, in a previous application in a different location, there was comment about what the colour scheme might be. Do you think we're going for a consistent colour scheme on these type of aerials?
If I can come first, I think previously we've discussed each one separately. I mean, I know that this one, they're proposing replacement with the same colour scheme. I've never had anybody complain about the previous colour scheme, so I would suggest that we just go with the existing colour scheme, the new colour.
I support that, Chairman.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I was going to say that this is a pre-app, and we're going to see a full application in due course, and if we have any observations we can make from them. So, as I say, why we propose noted this. I mean, we're not being asked to approve it.
Second that.
Okay, all in favour of noting? Okay, thank you. Concludes item number 5. Item number 6, planning applications. Item, the first one is Thatcham, Coulthrop and Crookham, Elizabeth Farm.
Okay. So, first one we have up today is Elizabeth Farm, or also known as Elizabeth Cottage, I believe. Erection of a dwelling and associated works following demolition of the existing dwelling. This is the find an access. I'm going anyway, sorry. Find an access statement. First of all, I'll show you whereabouts it is. So you can... It's quite difficult to see.
Gosh.
A little hunting. So it's off the Thornford Road. And I believe this little property in here. We have a bin map of it as well, which is slightly clearer. I think we've seen some applications here before. I think that's Foxfold Farm. It's this property just here. So it's situated in a rural setting surrounded by mature trees. The proposal replaces this existing building and outbuilding with a new property similar in area, which will be across 3 floors with an open plan ground floor, 3 beds to the first floor and a study and studio to the 2nd floor. So if I find the I feel like I've deleted a section. Please bear with me 1 second. Here we go. This was the one I was looking for. So it is Elizabeth Cottage in this area. The existing elevations.
Forgive me, is that what's been demolished or what? No.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
They're the existing elevations. And the current floor plan. So they've got a secondary building here. This is the ground floor. And this is the upper floor. Roof plan. And they are looking to demolish the existing cottage and separate building and replace it with a similar floor area to the existing. And this is the proposed.
A more modern design, I would assume.
Yeah.
Well, the wording to me makes it sound as if the building's already been demolished, but I don't think that's not the case.
Says erection of a dwelling and associated works following demolition of existing building.
So has it been sort of been demolished or as part of the application that it will be?
I would imagine as part of the application.
Will be demolished. Right, okay. Otherwise, I'm not down. They might not get any permission at all.
So, yeah.
The west
Okay.
elevation, south elevation, north and east elevation. These are the new floor plans Open plans. Generally down to the. And we've got 3 bedrooms on the first floor. And a studio and study on the top floor. In there. Are we looking at any comments that have been currently made? Archaeology have just requested that a further assessment is done because of the planning and design statement considers there are no heritage implications to the proposal for the demolition and replacement, but they've not had any approach, so they are recommending an assessment be provided by the applicants in the form of a statement of heritage significance in that area for their property.
You can say how the new one compares to the old, because if it's outside the settlement, then the usually they require
Let me have a look through their planning statement. I wonder if they put any photographs in, so that's the new one.
Excuse me, did you say it was 3 stories?
It's 2, so you see the 2 stories and then it's in the roof, the third.
There's not even a Velux window in the top. Top there, it's unusual. It's an ordinary roof. Oh, they're on the other side. They're on the other side.
Which I think if you, so I think they're trying to replicate, going a bit closer to the property, you can see.
Oh, they've got some there, have they?
They've got some in the existing property.
Can I ask, is the height different from the original to the proposed? The roof line height much?
I can't recall whether I've read that. There's quite a few applications today.
Doesn't give any dimensions at all.
We've got 8.45 metres high.
How many, sorry?
8.45.
Very nice.
Can you just go back to the plan relative to the other buildings as well? The first,
Sorry, this one.
yeah, I'm just trying to work out what it's close to. I see it's on that side.
Yeah. Just a little
As
bit there.
you approach through.
Happy to make a proposal if the debate is completed.
Can I ask a question for?
Yeah, please go ahead.
We have to put the 2 footprints on top. We have to see if there's a correlation because without the countryside, it should be a lot larger than what's there.
Thought that was in one of them, wasn't it?
Yes, it
It's
was.
just much the same area, but at a different angle.
It's more of a rectangle.
I've just lost the thing again.
It looks like there's a general modernization because those are the buildings that are very new, don't they? The ones just further along for 339.
I've managed to.
Go on, so.
No policy restrictions as far as we know.
Not that I'm aware of it. And if it's a redevelopment of an existing building, it's a 3-bedroom building, it's not substantially different to the existing.
Yeah.
Existing as well.
Okay, that's not, okay, so.
I'm happy
Just make a
to
proposal.
propose, we raise no objection.
Objection, seconded? Yeah, so seconded from, no in favour? No objection. Item number 2, 17 Golden Close. Proposed 2-story side extension, single-story side extension, and a new replacement front porch. Demolish existing conservatory.
So this is 17 Golden Close. They're on a corner plot on Train Close here. So yeah, as you said, they proposed a two-story side extension and a single-story side extension and a new front porch. So we're proposing to put the single story on this side, demolish the conservatory and the 2-story extension to this side. These are the current elevations. Nothing's ever the right size, is it? And then the proposed elevations are here. So from the front, the new extension, and then you've got the side, and they're bringing the porch out to the front, I believe, a little bit more. And this is the floor plan. So they're extending the kitchen out to this side, and they're extending the living area out to this side of the porch, and then to the first floor. They're adding an additional bedroom. Yeah.
And you see it on Google Earth, so you can
Yeah.
see a front view plot.
Bear with me one moment. There we go. So, yeah, it's this one here. So this is the side that they're proposing to put the 2-story extension on, meeting to the edge of the fence there. And then this side, they're proposing to put the single-story extension on. And I believe, imagine they will still have access.
That's their garage.
I think that's their garage.
Okay, yeah.
Expanding a lot on.
Isn't it?
Yeah. There is an objection that's come through where there's concerns over the 2-story extension blocking sunlight into the rear of 15 and 19.
On both sides, objective.
Just one objection, but commenting on the two.
Sure. So is the objection from the other side? Because it appeared from the photograph that it might obscure some of the.
Yeah, the 2-story.
I'm not sure where
It looks like
objections
it's from the
come
other
from,
side. Can we go back to the other corner?
they've said that could be affecting light onto the neighbours upstairs landing.
That's number, was that number 15, did you say?
15, 19.
Yeah, so I can see that. So if you could to,
Oops.
yeah, that's it, just stop there.
Yeah.
Right. Just go past it, number 15 is the next one on the right hand side, and then swing back around. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the house of the white doors, number 15.
Look back, yeah.
So that comes, a big 2-story.
Light obscurity is not considered to be a
It's not a very good ground. It's still a large,
planning matter, is it?
it's still a large space between the two buildings, and there's
A
no.
lot of lights. Shoots a lot of view. You can see on the plan where north is.
So I was just going to look on here as well. I'm not sure which way's the one.
There's a compass. I think
Oh,
it's
there we
the
go, yeah.
right-hand side. Yeah.
So the single story will go in this gap.
How far forward does the single story one come? Because that's quite close to the pavement, isn't it?
Managed to delete that one again.
Interesting about the complaint about the light, because number 15 completely obscures the building next to it. Just set by the back.
Yeah.
Right, bear with me again.
Oh, right. So it's, yeah, it's quite a long way back, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's quite good use of that corner space, really, isn't it, in many ways?
And the roof line is stepped back.
It's supporting the.
Yes, subordinate roof line.
What was the first thing I looked at?
Hang on,
So does anybody have any objections?
I propose that.
There's no objection.
Second that.
Seconds, all in favour? Okay, no objections. Number 3, the lodge, Crookham House, Crookham Hill. Proposed extension to existing dwelling. Drum roll.
Right. You may recall we saw this once before. Get my piece of paper. So the committee briefly considered it December 21, and the proposal was refused permission, and Thatcham Town Council objected because it was unsightly, visible, and the style was out of keeping, and with the rural character of the area, the council said the plans did not show what the trees will remain, which was an essential part of the consideration of the application, and would only be acceptable if totally masked from the road and footpath. And the plans do not show what trees and vegetation remain, which would have been an essential part of any approval. And West Berkshire refused permission on several grounds as well. So they've come back with a new application. So I'll just refresh your minds on the previous application. So this was, I think, the one we looked at last September. So this was the lodge, and the application was to put in this
Like a football stadium, perhaps.
new proposal. And this was the one that was refused. So it was quite a thing.
Yes.
So if I now go back to what they now submitted, which is this one, they've scaled down the impact possibly. So it's just offered. Do you want me to show it where? Locations, yeah. So we've got Pinchington Hall here and Thornford Park here, and it's just here.
It's currently very well shielded by the trees between the road and the building. And I think when we discussed this last time, it seemed we were debating for some time whether or not the building would go up to the road and remove the trees and the foliage. It wasn't clear from the plan, but there was a feeling that it really quite significantly changed the outlook from the road. Yeah, so I think that's something we need to review in this plan. What's existing foliage?
Is this new design sort of almost ultra modernistic then, is it?
I'll run you through it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
What a good idea.
So this is the new site plan. So this is the old lodge or the existing dwelling. And then it looks that the new property is to the front of the existing dwelling
Was that with a link? Is it?
with a glass link between the two,
Right.
with a green roof. So existing dwelling. Now we have existing garage removed, and these are the elevations. So bearing in mind that that's the front of the property now, I guess, coming in from Crookham Hill.
Is it some
So-
form of metal cladding?
It is, they are proposing exposed sandstone, vertical charred timber cladding and horizontal cedar timber cladding.
Oh, I see. It's timber.
Yeah, a slate. Hang on, they had got a slate roof. They're proposing a zinc roof and green link roof. And they're proposing powder coated grey aluminium for the doors and windows.
Yeah.
So that's the rear of the property. That's the east elevation with that facing the road. And that's the one facing the road, I believe. And that's the other elevation. Now you may, from this, also have observed that we have a downstairs now.
Sorry, what was that you said?
So we've got a cellar.
You may have observed we now have some stairs going down.
Oh, right.
So the proposal is, so that's, I believe, the existing floor plan. And the new proposal is the ground floor, which, can you see that there? Do you want me to just? So the ground floor, that's the existing property here. With a kitchen, dining, sitting room, and shower room. Then there's a glass link through, and we've got a lounge, games room, a snug and an office. Then to the we now have a basement plan where you go down to a master bedroom, 2 further bedrooms, all with en suites, a utility and a laundry room. And these will be lit by light wells from above the property. So these is the lighting here, and these are the lighting of the bedrooms, which you can see. There's the lighting for the hall down here, and the lighting for the bedrooms are to the front of the property. So
Able to see anything of the existing building on roof for that, or is it not?
I can show you something in a second, if that's okay.
Just carry on with the lights. I mean, are they windows then set into the ground? Are they bedrooms underneath?
We've got that far, delved that far into it.
Racing ahead.
It's certainly very exciting, isn't it? I mean, I've not seen anything like this before.
I know, we haven't had basements, have we? This is like London.
Accessory light. 2 meters by meter. So we've got solar panels,
Solar
panels on the roof.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
And this is a brass roof on the, or living roof on top of the glass link. Not quite sure what they're doing here. Haven't got that far into the
There's more lighting.
yeah. So that's basically it. So if I go,
Any comments about the vegetation at the front? And the trees?
right, so just going back to their planning statement.
We're gonna have to build a quarry for the basement.
So that's the site there. This is the existing dwelling.
So just, it's got any heritage, notwithstanding which is not listed and not identified as a non-designated heritage asset. not identified as a non-designated. It's like double negative. What does that mean?
It's not identified as a non-designated heritage asset. Neither is the country house.
Means it could be.
Yeah, it means it could be a heritage asset, right?
Yeah.
They haven't excluded that it's not a heritage asset. That's what I did that.
Yes, that is ambiguously put, isn't it? I don't think
Yeah,
it's meant to say that.
Despite their non-heritage asset status.
So it doesn't have a heritage
May be
status.
considered to provide a degree of local interest and contribute in a small way to local character.
Had a heritage status, so we're planning to.
I have to say, even if it had a heritage status, it wouldn't be a heritage building for much longer if they just leave it to rot.
So that was the previous application that was refused.
Right, Hans. What will we do?
Mhm.
We choose.
Then that's more of the previous application. And then the revised development proposal,
Okay.
which we've just spoken about.
No objection.
No objection.
Providing no objection received from Greta Thunberg.
So, on condition of
No objection from Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg. Any other views? Okay, so do anybody want to seconds? Okay,
No objection.
no objection. So all in favour, no objection.
What's the reference to Greta? What's it, Berg then?
Greta Thunberg, she's the an activist regards green matters and prevention of climate change.
Isn't that a green?
Yeah, I mean, should be happy with the solar panels and.
Well, that's why I say
Oh, I see. No, I don't.
Yeah, I think that's quite a sympathetic building. I think they've responded to the previous feedback and actually got quite clad with the wooded out exterior. I think that's probably is as much as they can reasonably do.
It's a bit out of our depth, I think.
I thought that in the basement. Thank you.
Plus the base.
Yeah, so on to item 4, which is Kennet School, Stoney Lane. I think we know where this is, but section 20. It's a request to remove a condition. That condition is a condition related to zero carbon, which is normally a condition on buildings for the schools, and Kennet Schools requesting to remove that condition. So over to yourself, Deputy Town Clerk.
So there was an application for a new single-storey teaching block, which the committee considered back in April, where there were no objections, and the application was subsequently approved by West Berkshire Council. But there were a number of conditions, one being the need to meet zero carbon with the building. But they have come back requesting that condition to be removed. So condition was no development shall commence on site until details have been submitted and approved in writing by the local planning authority, demonstrating that the new classroom block will achieve zero carbon standards in accord with the school's output specification, and reduce overall carbon production. They are in a position where they are asking to remove this condition because of a number of reasons. I believe that with current cost of living prices, and also they've got the building is deteriorating. They're reliant on some funding from the Department of Education, I think it is. That they don't think that they can achieve the funding to be able to do the zero carbon requirements for the building.
Do we know what the requirements are to achieve?
Yeah, so the requirements, although we talk about zero carbon, strictly this is to do with BREEAM, preems the building standards that are required for, I think, commercial properties to demonstrate that the building's been designed to a high level in terms of insulation, heating, and there's various points that buildings get depending on how they're built. You know, that renewable energy gets some more points and so on. Naturally, it does cost more to build those type of buildings, but over the longer term, often that saving is through reduced energy costs and improved comfort within the building as well. And it's been West Berkshire Council's, criteria and statement that's working towards net zero carbon. We should be working towards having these type of buildings being BREEAM outstanding as their rating. And of course, it's this council's objective as well to support transitions to net zero carbon. So that's the background, I think, of what was required by our West Berkshire Council for the commencement of this building to go ahead. And Kennet have come back and said, we can't afford to do that within the constraints of the money we've got and the timing that we've got. We really need to knock down this old building. And can we have an exemption from condition 3?
So they're saying if the restriction is relaxed, then they can rebuild it in a way that will be much more efficient from an energy point of view.
Well, they're saying it'd be more efficient to the dilapidated building that they have at the moment.
Yeah.
But it would not meet
Not as efficient.
standards, which is what the criteria is set as for this transition to net zero carbon. So Richard?
When I was on the Eastern Area planning a few years ago now, these sort of applications are quite common. I'm afraid they're often nodded through. The bar is put on these new buildings, say 10 out of 10. They come to us and say we can't afford to do that. We can get to 8 out of 10, but please relax the full net carbon, zero carbon criteria, and we can usually allow through. I presume this is the sort of thing that they are seeking here. That's the way I interpreted what you said, Shannon.
It puts particularly us in a difficult position because we're looking at material planning considerations and not, sadly, whether a school can afford to do it or not do it. So it does put us in a difficult situation. And especially as this council has a desire to achieve net zero.
Yeah, and I think the thing I struggle on is that we've been made or asked to make a judgment on the basis of a financial decision, not on the basis of a planning decision. There's a planning policy. That planning policy says it should be BREEAM level, whatever. So that's the policy which we should be judging it upon. We can't make a judgment.
Well, they can afford it.
Well, they can afford it. Not. Of course, anybody would prefer to do things more cheaply and avoid any onerous regulation. But I think we should focus on its application relative to the policies that exist.
But Chairman, I think if we were to approve this, then we could be setting a dangerous precedent, because people would point to architects, developers, etc., would point out, you allow this one, why don't you allow ours? I think sadly, or not as the case, we have a zero carbon policy and we have to maintain that. And I think it sadly takes us to really raise objections if they can't go zero carbon. Is that a true assessment?
I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, clearly, as you said, we're being put into a difficult position because the school suggests that we don't have enough funding to do so. But I feel that's something that the school therefore needs to take up with either West Berkshire Council or the Department for Education, whoever sets this restriction on funding, which is £1.5 million.
I assume grants can be sought, perhaps, from
Indeed,
a source.
I assume so. So we have a proposal for an objection. Would anybody like to second that?
Yes, I'll second.
Second. So all in favour of an objection? Thank you, based on the requirements to fulfil the policy guidelines.
Purely on material planning consideration. Thank you, Chairman.
And we're on to the second school, Thatcham North East, Whitelands Park Primary School, Sagecroft Road, single-storey extension to form a new entrance.
Right. So. Whitelands Primary School are looking to extend their front entrance, which is just about here. This is the existing floor plan and elevations. And they're looking to extend to the front. They currently have a reception area lobby in this area, and they're looking to come out the front and provide a larger entrance lobby, access to the reception here, a meeting room and an accessible WC and a storeroom.
Excuse me, is that effectively the west elevation, looking from the west?
Okay.
Just trying to get your in.
Yes. West.
Is west, thank you.
Yeah.
Single story.
Single story. It's, I believe, just coming out here. So Highways made a comment that they were concerned about the loss of an existing car parking.
Yeah.
Facility for the school that already has limited car parking, and have requested them to amend plans or to send amended plans to provide relocation of the parking lost by the proposal. So that's yet to come through, but looks like they've got one place there that will be taken up by the extension. Gives it any clearer. It's coming out there.
Oh, Chairman, if I may, it seems very good. Application for more on health rules and education, so may I propose no objection?
Seconded.
No objection. Next item is 20 Pine Lane, Thatcham West.
So
For you. West.
So this is an application for a detached outbuilding located here
In the rear garden.
in the rear garden. Now, they're looking to have garage with, well, I say garage, they're calling it a work shop and store, and then a study shower room over. Now, looking back at the history on this property, they previously applied for and was approved a 2-story side extension and rear extension, which I think is this bit here, and a 1-story rear, and a detached garage, which was back here, I think. So the previously approved detached garage is now referred to in this application, which was only 1-story previously approved. That previously approved detached garage is now referred to in this application as a detached outbuilding. And the original proposal was that it would have a ridge height of 4.5 metres, and now the new height is 5.5 metres. Then, so if I have a look at this was the previous application that was approved. And it was 2 garage, double garage with a store, 1-story, and now we've got garage door with windows to the front and to the side.
So a Velux window in the roof then?
Yeah. The property
So
is.
you just scroll down. It's also got a shower
Yes,
for the study.
So
That's interesting.
So it increases the range of possibilities.
so. Yeah, so the previous one, they'd approved it. They've said the previous application, whilst the proposed extensions are large, the application site site benefits from a spacious plot. And an approximate 4-metre gap. Proposed replacement detached carriage would be modest in scale with a maximum overall height of 4.5. But now obviously that will be 5.5 metres. So
are there any comments from neighbours at all?
no. So,
Or it doesn't mean it overlooks anything that it wouldn't have done before.
so this is the property, where I think the extension, the second story, this is what it was like previously, or I don't know whether the other one's gone for. So I'm imagining that the 2-story extension to the side is here, and then the detached garage goes down the side here, the detached outbuilding.
Is it visible at all on the existing photo, just peeping over the yellow bush, or am I imagining?
I think this was the existing garage that was gone.
You moved to the, or slightly, or was it? No.
Quite a distance between properties just there then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Not got control. If I look at here, so it's this one with the white car, I believe, in front. So I think it's set back a bit and be actually about here, wouldn't it? I think.
What's that building there with the license now? Is that another house?
I think this is part of that property. I think is that part. Spin round.
Can we go in a bit more?
So it's this property. So I think
Yeah, you're right.
it's the whole of that area there. So the 2-story
Long
extension
gardens,
is
something.
here, so
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the building would be there.
In adjacent property, they look as if they're just outbuildings. I mean, then it wouldn't matter so much if they were overlooked, seemingly by this new single-story extension.
Everybody okay with that?
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, can you just go back to the plan? Yeah, so I'll work out where everything's going.
So that's the new extension on the side, and then the building is to that corner. So extension not so possibly set back around here.
Okay. Everybody okay with the views?
Well, Chairman, if it's helpful, very interesting debate, and I think that I would raise no objections.
Okay. Anybody like to second?
Second that.
Sorry, can I just say, I mean, our concerns, I think, of this, detached building gradually growing, maybe another application. So it becomes a separate dwelling, which I don't think we have an idea. Can we say no objection, but add something like a caveat saying, about concerns of being used or becoming a separate dwelling, something along those lines. So
It's not explained why it needs to have a shower for the study.
That's what's triggered.
Yeah.
Which seems a bit suspicious, right?
kitchen,
But in that case, we have an objection, don't we? You know, we don't have an objection.
I'm happy to frame it as an objection.
I mean, is it an objection if it's just, you know, opening, you know, keeping the options open?
Yeah,
It's an informative,
Okay.
it's not undermining the actual planning application itself.
yeah,
I think you can do a subject to it.
okay. So,
It's just a,
so no, what phrasing would you suggest, Richard? No objection, subject to it not becoming
separate dwelling.
a separate dwelling.
Yeah, safeguards in place to
Yeah.
ensure it does not become a separate dwelling.
And they would have to get planning permission.
Yes,
Yeah, we wouldn't want to have
Easier.
a retrospective.
It's a creep in.
It isn't it?
It's a-
I just fear sometimes when we have these subject to, that those words just get lost in the history.
Well, it makes us feel happier.
Yeah,
We're doing our job.
Yeah, at least we've made the point, haven't we?
Yes.
and the planning officer can check, I suppose, on West Berkshire. Okay, excellent, thank you.
Did we vote on that?
Oh, yeah, so no objection, subject to that statement from Richard.
That's correct.
All in favour? And final one, Thatcham West again, or Curlew Close.
Curlew.
So this is a single-story rear extension. And the reason we've got it on here is because we don't normally consider single-story rear extensions, but there was a previous application which was which we didn't comment on. I think West Berkshire Council refused it, and now this has come back with another application. So it's this corner plot here, and they're looking to extend to the rear of the property here. Now, previously, they extended by about an extra 10 metres, I think it was, of brickwork, and West Berkshire Council refused it on the grounds that the further 10 metres of brickwork along the boundary of the neighbouring property would extend along 50% of the boundary and would cause an unacceptable visual impact.
Right.
So that's where they're looking at putting it in. So this is the existing elevations. So that's the current rear elevation, and that comes out slightly already at the moment.
Just trying to make out which is the extension.
Yeah.
On the left, is it?
So it's very annoying that this keeps going small and big. So that's the site that they want to cover there to the rear. And if I go back down again. So, and this is the extension. Now, I think it's still of a similar size, but they've changed slightly. The previous application, bear with me. This was against.
Oh, I see, a step in the boundary.
Stepped in. So
And how many metres now does this extend compared with the 30 metre of the previous one, which was refused?
right, here's the previous one. So that's the back of the existing. I think that's 4.9 metres there and another 1.4 there. So just over 5 metres. And that's 3.5. There's a planning statement here from them. Proposed extension will measure 6 metres deep from the rear wall of a previous extension but set back 0.7 metres short of the neighbouring boundary. In total, the new extension will measure occupy 42 metres squared. And
So the previous one was 10 and this one is 7. Did I hear that?
I think so. They didn't put the dimensions on this one. I've only got the dimensions from the previous floor plan here.
Being set back is a step in the right direction. It's the length, I think, of brick build that the neighbour will do.
So it's all the materials are to match the existing. There is one representation in support of it.
Oh,
And it came back as it had no objection to the extension.
was that from the neighbour, do you think? I assume so.
Like peace in our time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
And they appreciated it being stepped in.
So I suspect we could be wrong there, speculating, but that's wasn't it?
we have a look at it from, so it's this plot here. Let me show it better. Where have I gone? Right, this one here. So that's the rear of the property. So that's the existing extension coming out to here. And we're proposing to go further along this line, but stepped in and then along and back over here. That's as close as it will get for me.
Otherwise you have to get another licence.
And it looks like going by the shadows, the sun's coming from the other side, so it's not casting a shadow on the garden or anything.
So we can see the plans. Can we see it from the neighbour's side?
Sorry,
Can we see from the neighbour's side what it's going to be?
that's the previous. So you're talking about on here from the neighbour's side or
The plans showing what it would look like when it's.
oh, sorry, my apologies.
That one,
The elevations, yes,
existing and.
yeah, so
That'll be the one bottom there.
Be that proposed side elevation.
Oh, yeah.
But there'll be a fence in the way as well there.
yeah,
So just be the top that the neighbour will see above the fence, I think.
and I think that bit's, is that the existing bit already, and then it will be just that bit on top of it. I mean,
So it's definitely been stepped in, but we don't know whether it's the same 10 metres or less in terms of the depth into the back garden. But there's been a comment from the neighbour, there's no objection, so.
Someone.
Yeah, but there's no objections by neighbours.
Well, Chairman, let me be helpful and say I raised no objection.
Okay, would anybody like to second that?
That's second that.
I suggest we had no objection subject to my first comment by neighbour.
That's fine. All in favour then? That's unanimous, subject to that comment. Is it?
I like this idea of subject to, I think there's a bit of a safety.
Yeah, that's good.
Although I'm not convinced it ever gets noted.
Sorry?
Although I'm not convinced it ever gets noted.
No, of course not. No, it just makes us feel happy.
We've done our best.
Okay, so thank you, Deputy Town Clerk, and that's the major activity and planning applications. So would you like to summarize the other ones that we're not doing? Anything to comment on there?
these were checked earlier today and there's been no representations. I've given them quick, or is anything that would raise members' concerns. So.
Okay,
Noted, Chairman.
No,
thank you. And therefore on to item number 7, planning matters and the appeal for the more contentious one. But we are just being asked to receive and consider. Okay, so Item number
The one you write about, obviously the ambiguous word. Oh,
in my old. So Deputy Town Clerk, will you yourself, I think,
Yes,
introduce this?
so there's a bit of history with this appeal. And Alexandra Road were given an enforcement notice, which the council were made aware of. The residents then council to appeal. The appeal was quashed on a legal technicality at the time. And since then, West Berkshire Council have reissued the enforcement notice. And this is the appeal against the second enforcement notice. And it was the erection of part of a 3-story rear extension without planning permission. So the appeal started on the 12th of October, and members are asked if they wish to make any representations before the 23rd of November with regards to the alleged breaches.
Do we simply note the appeal?
Yeah, I mean, that's an option for us, unless we want to make any comments, either in support or object to, or unless we want to make any reference, I suppose, but we can just note the appeal.
Suppose note the appeal.
I was going to say, we haven't been involved in this since this building was done with an enforcement notice, an appeal against an enforcement notice. And that's, it hasn't come to us until now.
The planning authority knows.
Don't have anything.
I agree. I think we can just note this. I'm curious. I'm just trying to work out where it is on the map and how on earth did they go about demolishing it, because it looks like it's a terrace. Can't see how they got the access to it to build it. But but that's
Planning matter.
it's going to be a challenge to remove all the rubble and everything else if they go ahead.
Helicopter.
Anyway, yeah, just please note that
All those in favour?
if that's needed. Right, item number 8. Oh, actually, sorry, 7B, to receive any planning matters arising since publication of the agenda.
Nothing from me, Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Then item number 8, traffic management.
So we've been notified by West Berkshire Council that their contractor will be undertaking drainage work on the Broadway and Station Road. Work is programmed to go ahead between the hours of 9:30 and 3:30 on the 14th to the 16th of November. Works will be undertaken with a road closure and assigned diversion route. I believe members were informed by email a little while ago about this. Emergency vehicles will be allowed through the works under site supervision, and the contractor will endeavour to provide access to properties. So
Noted, Chair.
Noted, yeah, duly noted. Yeah, do we need to vote when it's just noted? Just that when we tell you. We'll wave our hands in the air. 8B, please.
And there's nothing further to be advised of. We've not received anything since the publication of the agenda. So
Okay, thank you very much. And then item number 9, decision notices.
here a list. So I'm actually looking at this earlier. I didn't compile this myself, so I think we actually looked at these ones on the last one. So
Yeah.
they're just extra ones that have come. They're still.
Has anything come up with Hound Lane?
I emailed you.
Did you? I must look at your email. Is it on this sheet? On this? It's not. Okay, thank you. I will note your email. Thank you.
So you're saying, sorry, that's not been updated, is that correct?
Sorry, it's the decision list has been updated. But I was just looking back against the previous one, and
Yeah.
these two are the last one.
Correct, yeah.
From here is the new ones that have been added to the decision list. So I think those have all been approved, not considered required. Yeah, there's nothing.
Okay. Nothing contentious there. Close it, Chairman. It takes us on to item number 10, reports from town council appointees, outside bodies. So over to our appointees, which is Mark, basically, councillor Prop.
Yeah, nothing much to report at the moment, Chairman. I don't know when the next meeting is. I don't seem to have it on my phone. Let's check that. But yes, I think we're waiting for the next exciting phase in the work of the SWMP will be the work at Memorial Field. So I think we're waiting for a finalised application and accompanying public consultation, which was due to be done around December time. But I must check if there's been any progress on that. There should be a meeting coming up soon, so check then.
Okay, thank you very much. That's the only reports I think that we have. So that's the final agenda item, in which case I think we can close the meeting
Thank you, Chairman.
at 8:08. Thank you, everybody.